Hey everybody, happy Sunday, and today I'm going to cook vegan gumbo. So when you cook gumbo, you need a lot of ingredients. You need lots of spices, you need Holy Trinity, and you need tomato. And ask for crushed tomato. I don't have crushed tomato. I use tomato sauce. It's not the end of the world. It's just you just substitute whatever you need to substitute. You need half cup of lentil and half cup of dry lentils. So to prepare this meal, I go ahead and soak it into the water, so you can tell they already blow up to almost 2 cups. You need half pound of mushroom. You need some kind of bean, and I love these Cannellini bean. And also I bought these vegetarian shrimp and vegetarian lobster. So I'm gonna use those. And I mix the spices myself. I guess you can buy the spices you too. And then the whole Trinity, let's go back to the Holy Trinity. You need celery, onion, 1 cup each. And then, so every time I read the recipe, like a 1 cup of celery, I don't know what that means. Like, do I cut half of the celery or do I cut 2 stalks of celery? So today I found out that 3 stalks of celery equivalents to 1 cup of diced celery. So the Holy Trinity have 3 ingredients, have onion, celery, and green bell pepper. Marigua is onion, celery, and carrot. So today, this is like a New Orleans style, Louisiana style, so it's using Holy Trinity. You do need 1 onion. You don't have to be like specific type of onion. So I have both white onion and red onion combined to 1 cup. And the reason is I have some leftover, so I just use all of them. And you do need 1 of these green bell pepper, any color that it works. Since this dish is kind of red color, so I kind of want the green to break up the red color. You do need 1 teaspoon of oregano and onion powder. And you need 3/4 teaspoon of cumin and turmeric and paprika. 3 teaspoons in this spicy mix. The rest of them you need half a teaspoon, which is coriander powder, red pepper flake, and salt and pepper. Salt and pepper is mostly for season. The dishes is also asked for okra, and okra is not the season right now, so I use the frozen okra. And you don't need like much of them. You just need half cup. So let's start it. And I'm going to chop these pepper. To cut the bell pepper, there's many people different way to cut it. The way I learned from all over the internet or Pinterest, that you cut the top off and then you take the stem off and then you remove the inside. Look, voila, isn't that cool? And then you may have 1 or 2 seeds that stay inside. And just remove them. And then you just start dice them. They're very low calorie. For the entire Holy Trinity, it's only 100 calorie. So this dish is, let me go over the calorie. The seafood, 2 packs of these vegan lobster, vegan shrimp, the calorie is only 400. And then the Trinity is another 100, so that's 500. The tomato is 170 calories, so total is 700 calorie. And then the bean is 385, so added up a little bit shy from 1100. and lentil is 240 calorie, so add it up as 13. And I will add mushroom. Mushroom half pound is 50 calorie, so it's about 1340 at this point. And I need 1 tablespoon of olive oil. It's 120. So add it up, and oh, plus half cup of okra. Add it up exactly 1500 calories. So the next thing is I'm going to chop the pepper. So just pretty boring, and then I show you the final product. I chopped it. The mushroom, you need to quarter them, and I washed them because they do have some dirt, like a black stuff attached to it. You quarter them, just so like what I'm doing, and you drain the lentil that you soak it into the water. I soak it in the water for about 2 hours. So when I start calculating and preparing the meal, I start soaking it. So this is good to go. And I'm going to just drain the water and get it ready. And then you need like a half cup of okra. The okra has, I bought it the wrong kind. It had the bread in it, but that's okay. Because it's breaded, it has a lot more calorie that it should be. And so, meanwhile, I'm gonna open up the vegetarian shrimp and lobster. And I have a feeling they are pretty big chunk. So I need to cut them into smaller pieces. This bag just won't cooperate with me today. Started. Those shrimps are huge shrimp. They're not real shrimp. They are vegetarian version of shrimp. So I cut them into bite size and put it in a bowl. They do smell like seafood though. So this lobster, just cut them into bite size. And this is all vegan version, including the broth that I use is also vegetable broth. So it's the entire dish is a vegan dish. You just cut them into the bite size. The shrimp, looking shrimp. Large shrimp, then I can start cooking. And I move everything to next to the stove, and I can go ahead and start cooking. So to start cooking, you need 1 tablespoon of extra virgin oil or light olive oil. The spoon that I'm using is a teaspoon. For every 3 teaspoons, equivalent to 1 tablespoon. So don't ignore the fact that oil has calorie, okay? So it started, turn the stove on high heat. The oil is hot, so you put the Holy Trinity, you saute the Holy Trinity first. And you season with salt and pepper. Just sprinkle all over the vegetable and saute them until translucent. And me turn on the sauce. It looks like this. You also need to season the mushroom. You have to layer the seasoning every time you put new stuff in. As you can see, the onion already turned translucent. And then you put the shrimp and lobster. And put the tomato sauce. And there's a lot of them stuck in a can, right? So you wonder, how am I going to get them out? And I use the vegetable broth. To rinse it off, not to waste the tomato sauce. So put a full cup of broth in it. I use the Cobra brand. It's called a Simply True Organic. And you stir because you don't want the tomato sauce all sitting in one area. And you put the lentils in. The bean, the whole can of Cannellini bean. And at this point, you put all the mixed seasoning inside. Them. And the last thing I haven't put it in is the okra because I wanted to let the vegetable cook first. So you just cover them, cook it for half hour, and wait until it bring it to boil. It reduce the lowest heat, let it simmer for half hour. You want all the seasoning, all the tomatoes and all the seasoning get into the vegetable. Get that flavor into the vegetable before you put okra is really easy to cook, and you want to put it at last. So it start boiling, it start bubbling. You want to bring it to fully boil and then you reduce the heat. All right. Meanwhile, while I was waiting for it to boil, I'm gonna set the timer to 30 minutes. 30 minutes. And the last thing I need to put in when it's done, I need to put a tablespoon of soy sauce and a tablespoon of balsamic vinegar. And the soy sauce I would highly recommend don't use the regular soy sauce, use the light soy sauce because you don't want to overpower. After all, this dish is Louisiana flavor. You don't want to have that soy sauce flavor overpower the rest of the flavor. Soy sauce had a Asian flavor in it, so you don't want to overpower that. So it stopped boiling. So I'm going to reduce the heat, let it cook for 30 minutes. Since I have 13 minutes left, I'm gonna put the okra into my gumbo. And stir and mix them. And give 1 tablespoon each of balsamic vinegar and 1 tablespoon of soy sauce. So remember, 3 teaspoons equals to 1 tablespoon. So this is 1 teaspoon. So I need 3 of the teaspoon equals to 1 tablespoon. 1, 2, 3. And I will do the same thing for the soy sauce. Let me mix the ingredient first. And the gumbo turned darker. It's not as red as before because the dark color of the balsamic vinegar. And I'm going to do the same thing with the soy sauce. One teaspoon, 2 teaspoons, 3 teaspoons equals to 1 tablespoon. And mix them. And because the balsamic vinegar soy sauce, they're browner color, so the whole gumbo turning to darker color. So sometimes when you cook something, you want to achieve that really darker color instead of red like an Italian sauce color. And you just add some either balsamic vinegar or soy sauce or Worcester sauce. And all those 3 sauces will change the color of the sauce. I'm gonna go ahead and give a little taste test to see whether that's what I wanted. It needs a little bit more salt. It's a little bit on the tart side. Perfect. So I let it cook for another 10 minutes. Oh, one of the things that pretty major is put 2 pieces of bay leaf, and I totally forgot it. So it's not the dead sentences. So I'm gonna put 2 pieces of bay leaf. 1 piece is pretty tiny, so I put an extra piece. 2 tiny pieces equals to 1 big piece. I have 5 more minutes to go. I just give it another stir and add some bay leaf in it. It's been 30 minutes, and then the gumbo, the seafood vegetarian gumbo, and it's ready. So because the little breading on the okra, it creates that thickening look. So let me turn off the alarm. And here you go. And also the bean, the lentil bean, and the lentils, and the Italian, the Cannellini bean. Here's the final product. And let me show you, maybe tilt the camera a little bit to see. This is the end result. So I'm gonna scoop out into the bowl and put a piece of cilantro on it and take the final picture. And that's done of the cooking of this dish. So this vegetarian gumbo is done cooking, and I'm going to scoop it in the bowl to let you see how it looked like. It had mushroom, it had vegetarian shrimp and vegetarian lobster, and it has okra, it had Holy Trinity, and let me put a couple more pieces, seafood lobster, and then put a piece of cilantro on top as a decoration. And there is the seafood gumbo. And you can cook some rice. I generally don't eat rice. You can put brown rice, but that's the dish. And I'm gonna take a picture and put it as the thumbnail. And meanwhile, I'm gonna divide them all into these 5 glass container. And total 1,500 calorie. If you divide it by 5, that's each one of them, it will be 300 calorie. So let me scoop them into each. Oh, by the way, you take the bay leaf out, because they're not very pleasant to eat. They're very kind of dry and kind of sticky. So you just put 1 and 2 scoop. So you need 3 scoop. 3. So if each one is 3 ladle, and then you go back and fill it, each one of them 3 ladle. So I still have some left, right? So it looks like a 4 ladle. So I'm 3.5. 1, 2. Take away the bay leaf. Okay. This one, I'm gonna take a picture to show you just the final product, how it look like, because put it in those glass container, it doesn't look very good, but put it in a bowl and present it like in the restaurant way, it looks a lot better. So, and after I take a picture, I will equally divide this bowl into the rest of the glass bowl. All right, my vegan version of the seafood gumbo